Welcome, fellow Toastmasters. You are here for your Vice President membership training. Those of you who may have new to this position, welcome you and congratulations on your election or nomination or voluntold position of Vice President membership. For those of you who have done it before, well, welcome back again. And hopefully we can learn a little bit together and share some information. I'd like to go over, basically today, we're going to go over the different responsibilities of the Vice President membership and things that you can accomplish in your position. Ideally, what you do as a Vice President membership is you have the lead the club's efforts to continually increase the membership, promote the goals of one new member per month if possible, and if the club has fewer than 20 members, achieving 20 members by the year end or sooner. Now, how do you do that? There's different options and different incentives that are available through Toastmasters that you might want to take advantage of, and kind of goals that you can use to help build your club's membership. The one item is that Smedley Award they call August 1st through September 30th. And you may ask, what is the Smedley Award? A brief explanation of that is as follows. The Smedley Award is, I mentioned before, between August 1st and September 30th. And what it means is if you can add either 5 new, dual, or reinstated members to your club, you will achieve what they call the Smedley's Award and be recognized by Toastmasters International. That is one of the programs that's available to you also. Now, the other program that you have as a membership Vice President is Talk Up Toastmasters. That runs from February 1st through March 31st. And that is an opportunity to promote the club and the organization itself to new people and talk about the benefits of what Toastmasters means to them. And in various ways, you either do a what we call a speech craft, open house, or simply just a special meeting that you might hold for your club to invite guests who have not Toastmasters to join your club. So those are 2 of the programs that are available to you as incentives by Toastmasters International. And the third incentive that Toastmasters offers is Beat the Clock. And that program dates run from May 1st to June 30th. And similar to Smedley Award, it encourages you to add at least 5 new members to finish up and gather all the educations you have in order to accomplish the Distinguished Club program. So it's kind of a double one that you want to finish all the educations you can to get your DCPs, which are 6 of the DCP program, Distinguished Club program, of the 10 that are available. So those are 3 incentives that Toastmasters International offers for the clubs to be able to accomplish your goals as far as the Vice President membership and the club as a whole. Now, we encourage club members to gain recognition in the form of, you can also get members to gain recognition by sponsoring members. If they sponsor 5 or 10 or 15 new members, they'll get a special recognition from Toastmasters also from there. Stay current on the news developments via the leader letter they send out also. So those are some of the incentives that you can look at working with as a club Vice President membership to work that program to help develop your club and increase your club. Now, as a Vice President membership, some of the responsibilities that you do have is you collect and manage paperwork in the application process, organize and participate in a membership committee task with considering all new member applications. So when you get an application, you need to review it. And if you have somebody that can be on your committee, if you can form a committee to review it, then you can determine the status of the membership itself. Be sure new memberships are voted on by the majority of the club. The club constitution for Clubs of Toastmasters International, Article 2, Section 2, admissions to membership. So a lot of clubs don't vote their membership in, and it's up to the club itself whether they want to or not. But it's probably not a bad idea to vote for the member, and it's kind of a recognition for the new member also that they are voted into the club. So that's an opportunity to feel more wanted, more accepted by the club also. Now, a good thing for the club membership is the contact with guests and encourage fellow club members to always help guests feel welcome. Remember, you are the one who's responsible for keeping the membership and retaining the membership and growing the club itself. Even though the Vice President of Public Relations helps promote the club, you are the one who's responsible for actually getting the members into the club itself. If you don't have a club packet, I suggest you get one if those clubs are in person, with flyers that include the club information and also encourage you that you put an application in there so they have that available to fill out. You distribute those, and if you don't have one, you can get, I believe, the item 387 in Toastmasters International website. If you go to Toastmasters International website, they have some, what they call them, I believe, under resources or shopping, or under resources, where you can find these particular items to distribute at the club in a packet. And I believe the guest packet itself is item 387. Answer phone calls, emails, and other inquiries from prospective members, and encourage them to visit the club in the next meeting. Now, if you get leads, it depends on who gets those leads. If you are not the contact person for those leads, and it may go to somebody else, so determine at the club who is the contact person if there's a lead that comes from Toastmasters International. That way you can get a hold of that lead, and you can follow up on it and make arrangements to invite that person who has showed interest in your club to come to one of your next meetings. Just make sure you understand whether it's in person or online or hybrid, we refer to. One of the things I encourage a lot of clubs to do with new members is arrange to vote, not only vote, but also an induction ceremony for any member joining. See, a lot of times people feel really important when they feel there's a formality as far as being in the club and when you welcome them. So if you haven't done that in the past, I'd suggest when any new members you get, that you have some kind of a ceremony, after they join the club and their applications have been received, so they feel a part of the club when they're voted in, and also when they're recognized in a ceremony. It doesn't have to be really fancy, but it's some form of ceremony that welcomes them to the club. Where the good thing to do is to read the promise, the Toastmasters promise that's on the application itself, so that they understand what their responsibilities as a new member are, and then at the same time maybe encourage the club to recognize them also, that you're there to support them also. Now, as far as the application itself, you manage the paperwork involved in the application process. Collect the initial dues, payments, and applications from a member, and submit them to the treasurer. Now, each club's different. Sometimes the club treasurer handles all that himself, or the member can do it. Remember that any officer can submit an application to Toastmasters International, so everybody should be aware of how to do that online, which is the easiest way to do. You can still mail an application in with a personal check, but that's pretty much old school, and it takes a lot longer. So most of the easiest process is to do it online with any officer in the club. So each officer should know how to do that in the event that maybe you're not available, or you're tied up, maybe you're talking to another guest and someone else wants to join at the same time, that somebody can take that application and submit it online. Now, one word of warning: if you have a member that, let's say, transfers from another club, and this is something that's new, in the older days, they used to have a little checkbox for either new, dual, reinstate, or transfer. And you could just put that on the application and submit it. Well, online, that option is not available for transfer. What you need to do with any member that transfers, that's not a dual member, but a transfer, they belong to one club, perhaps they like your club better, or they want to transfer to a different club because it meets their time slot, or maybe something has changed, so they need to find a different club because of something, circumstances have come on, then you can transfer them to your club. But in that case, you actually have to have a filled out application submitted with their signature, and what they'll do is you have to fax or mail that to Toastmasters International. Make sure you have the member's ID number and also what club they're transferring from to put on the application itself. You fax or mail that to Toastmasters International, and they will take care of transferring the dues the fees that were paid to the other club and credit them towards your club. So remember, you can't transfer a new member into your club as a straight transfer. So you have to fill out the application and send it in to Toastmasters International. So those are the things that you really need to keep track of. Now, other responsibilities are, obviously, you need to make sure that the members are actually accomplishing what they want to accomplish. The Vice President of Education handles all the scheduling and sees who's speaking when and where and what times that they're going to speak. Now, as the membership Vice President, you're going to be responsible for seeing that they're getting through the program like they should be. So you'll need to keep track, along with the Vice President of Education, of who's speaking and where they are. As the Vice President of Membership, you don't have access to pathways, so you can't go in and check where their status is on the pathways program. But it's important for you to know where they are so that you can keep track of who is progressing, who's not progressing, and go from there. Now, the other item that's important for you as a vice president of membership is that if you have members that haven't been to the meeting for a while, it's important that you contact them and reach out to them to see if everything is okay. Tell them how much you missed them at the club, and if there's a chance that they may be able to come back soon. We'll basically make it a friendly call or email saying, haven't seen you for a while, hope everything's okay, look forward to seeing you joining our meetings again, and just go from there. Along with any leads that you may get from the Toastmasters organization, or any leads that you may get, or any guests that come into your meeting and fill out, hopefully you'll have a form that they can fill out with their contact information, a guest book of some sort, that you can get that information and be able to follow up with them after the meeting. Send an email thanking them for joining, coming to your club, that you enjoyed their company there. If there's any questions that they may have thought of that they didn't ask after the meeting, then have them reach back to you so you can answer those questions. So that's an important part. Now, on the idea of the packets, again, if you don't have packets, have something to give to them so that they can have something to take back with them that reminds them of what they did in the club. Now, the other thing you need to be aware of is if you're online and in person or hybrid, obviously hybrid and in person will be much the same thing. You have the packets physically there, but you may also have people online, or if you're an online club, you get that packet and have it digitized. And I think it comes digital from Toastmasters International. Put together a bit of a packet for the member who's online, and then simply post it in the chat so that they can have that with them. So that's one of the things you can do as far as the packets are concerned. So that's the important part. Now, kind of a summary of what you were going to be doing overall is, before the club, I want you to make a list of the new members who have joined the club since the last meeting and contact the club president to coordinate the induction ceremony for the next meeting. Make guest packets if you don't have any to distribute to the guest at the meeting. You can get a bunch of those if you have them in person. You get a bunch of those, leave them with the sergeant at arms so you have them there. He brings them back and forth, or you can bring them yourself. But have something that you can give to your guest so they can have something to take away along with being online or in person. So those are important things to have. Contact any former guests. If you had guests that haven't showed up, they've come to the meeting, perhaps they didn't come to the next meeting, or you haven't seen them in the last two meetings, reach out to them again, follow up again, and keep asking if there's something you can ask them for them, that they may have questions that you need to be aware of. So persuade them to encourage them to come back to the next meeting, and you enjoyed having them there the first time, and hopefully you'll see them again. So those are things that you want to be continually doing on a regular basis. Now, at the club, when in the meeting's going, it's important not only that the sergeant at arms who's greeting members as guests or come in, that you also meet the guest and introduce yourself as a vice president of membership, and that you're the person that they want to talk to should they have any questions after the meeting. So make sure you meet all the guests and let them know that you are the contact person for any questions that needs to be done, and further follow up on that. Provide all the guests with the guest pack, like I said before, and answer any questions they may have had about the club. So those are the things that you have to do during the meeting, just prior to starting. So be aware of that. As guests come in, they may come in sometimes they come in after the meeting has started. Same thing in online. If you're an online meeting also, you have to be able to have chat with them. That you're welcome to the meeting. Introduce yourself on the chat and give them your contact information in the chat so that they can reach out to you if they have any questions. At the same time, you want to ask them for any information. I would suggest, if you're an online club and also hybrid, that you put together maybe a little form that you could post in the chat also, that they can download and fill out and send back to you. So those are things that you want to do as part of the guest package. Also, what we call the sign-up book that they come into, or guest book that they can fill out the information with contact information. So those are important things to have done during the meeting, upon arriving to the meeting itself. Now, after the meeting, meet the guest to answer any questions and explain the benefits of Toastmasters, what it means to them if you haven't discussed it at the end of the meeting by the president. Invite the guest to join the club. People often forget. Ask them to join the club. Don't be hesitant. Say, hey, ask them in a simple way. Don't be a hard closer. Don't be acting like it's a sales pitch of some sort. Simply say, did you enjoy the meeting? If you think you could benefit from the Toastmasters program, would you like to join our club? Simple as that. No pressure. And sometimes they'll say, well, let me think about it. And you say, that's fine. We'll look forward to seeing you at the next meeting. So make it as cordial and friendly as possible. We know that public speaking is the number one fear among people, so they're going to have a lot of apprehension coming into the meeting. And if you come down hard on them about, hey, you should join our club, whatever, things like that, just approach it in a more friendly manner so that they feel comfortable when they leave. And again, invite them back, and after they've gone, the next day, at least follow up the next day with an email saying, thank you for visiting. And again, we will look forward to seeing you again, and welcome them back to the club, and basically say, look forward to seeing them again. When they fill out the application, oftentimes there may be parts of that application that they're not familiar with. Tell them that's not a problem. Just to fill out the form, the part that they know, because their name, their address, email address, home address, and all that stuff that they're familiar with, that you can take care of the other part, club number, club location, and whatever particulars that they're not familiar with. But simply just do that for them, but let them fill out the application that they have, that you give it to them, either online or in person, so they can return it to you, and you can submit the application itself. Now, as far as paying for the membership, things have changed quite a bit. The treasurer can either handle it, or they can, with the easiest way I've found is simply have them, if they're there, you have them log into Toastmasters International, you open it up, go to your Club Central, submit a new member, and then fill out the form there itself. Even though you still have the form itself, but fill out the form itself. And then the easiest way for them to do it is, if they have the credit card on them, they can submit their credit card information into the application process and then submit it that way. If they don't, perhaps they want to write a check, then fine, just get the check, tell them the following day you will deposit your check, and then you will submit their application to Toastmasters International from your own treasury. So there's a couple ways you can go. If they want to pay cash, that's still something people may want to do. They can pay cash, and just simply get the cash and submit the application. Since you do have the cash, you don't have to worry about the check clearing. So those are the things you want to be aware of as far as what you do as a vice president of membership. Remember, the key thing to you is that you are the person who's going to be maintaining membership, answering questions, follow up on all new members and past members, follow up on all guests, and make sure that they are aware that you're welcome to come back. And those are the important things that you do as far as the vice president of membership. There's tons of information on the Toastmasters.org website, different resources you can look at. There's things you can utilize, that forms that you can use to pass out in the pamphlets or guest books that you have, and guest packets you have. But overall, the key to your growth and the club's growth itself is to maintain membership. One membership a month is the goal, which is 12 members a year. And you may ask yourself, why? What if we're a club at 20? Why do we need 32? Life happens. Things change for people. Maybe perhaps they can't participate any longer. There's always a drop-off in membership each year. Ideally, you hope not, but it's inevitable. It's kind of things that can happen where people can no longer attend the meetings, or perhaps they felt that they got what they wanted out of the Toastmasters program. Then you can simply just, that's fine, it happens. But that's why there's a constant growth that you want to have. Now, one member a month is 12. For your DCP program, you only need 8, 4 and 4. So if you get 8 new members, 12 new members, you've accomplished 2 goals in the DCP program. But ideally, you don't want to just shoot for 8, shoot for above and over. So if you can have a goal of 1 member a month, then that's what you want to have for a successful club. And the club will be successful, and you will get those members to join your club if you have a strong club. Now, that is the key to most Toastmasters club. If you have a strong club and you're following the Toastmasters program, and you as a vice president of membership are aware that people are accomplishing their goals and pathways, that they're being able to participate in the meetings as a whole, and that they're getting what they want from the Toastmasters program. So that is what you want to look for as far as vice president membership, that you are the one who sustains the club. You are the one to make sure the members are following through, are getting what they want out of the Toastmasters program, and go from there. So I encourage you, strive for those goals, those 3 that Toastmasters offers. 1 member a month is always a great goal to have. And also, if you have anything with the PR manager or PR vice president, coordinate with them so they can see what kind of promotions they're doing. So when people come in, always ask them, how did they find out about your club? That way you can get some feedback as far as what's working for the club. If you're doing certain social media, are they getting it from there? Are they getting it from the Toastmasters website? But it's a good idea for you as a vice president of membership to be aware of what the members or the guests are using or finding your club with. That way you can concentrate those efforts, and you can share that with the vice president of public relations, share that information with them and the president, so that they are aware where to channel their energy as far as promoting the club. And you're the person who's going to get that information, and you're the one's going to be able to answer those questions for them. So again, you play an extremely important role. You are also part of the executive committee that's on the club in the organization as far as Toastmasters and the club, the 7 officers. You are the third person in charge. It's first the president, vice president public relations. The vice president of education, and then vice president of membership. So you're the third person in line as far as officers' priority and seniority. With that, thank you for joining me for a brief explanation of the vice president of membership. I wish you well in your endeavor this coming year, and look forward to possibly meeting you sometime in the future. Have a good day. Bye.